Hi guys, welcome back. I know it's been a little bit since I've made a video for you. It's been a couple of weeks. I just needed a couple of weekends to not worry about making a video. I got really busy with work, been working a few more hours than I'm used to, which I don't mind. I love that I get to do something that I love every day. So that's why I haven't had a video up in a couple of weeks. But I figured since today is my day off before the weekend, I would just make I'd bring you along on my own personal spa day, walk you through kind of my skincare routine, and then show you the products that I've been using that I really like, as well as just hang out and relax, because sometimes we just need a little relaxation. If you're usually here for the bullet journal or budgeting videos, I will have one next week when I get paid. I just needed a little bit of a break from all the numbers because it was starting to really consume my life, and that's never a good thing. It's one thing to be on top of it, it's another thing to be obsessed with it. So hopefully you're okay with just hanging out. Grab yourself maybe a glass of tea. I have a glass of wine. Maybe do what I did, set up a little skincare assembly line in your bathroom and hang out with me. So I'm going to start with cleanser. I haven't washed my face yet. This is the one I'm using right now. I've tried a few. I like to try new ones pretty much every time I run out of a cleanser, as long as it's made for my skin type. And that's the important thing, is trying a cleanser that's for your skin type. I have really dry skin. I am completely dry. I don't have oily spots. I don't have enlarged pores. I'm not normal dry. I'm pretty much dry. If I'm normal, it's because of all the products that I use. So this is the Murad Prebiotic 4-in-1 Multi-Cleanser. It's a gel to oil formula. It does not set up, but it has prebiotics in it to help nourish and plump the skin. And it leaves the skin feeling really clean. Of the more hydrating or balancing cleansers I've used recently. Hey. Chill. Sorry. This one gets my makeup off the best. The last one I used didn't really do that great as a makeup remover, but this one does. So I get to use this as my double cleanse, and I don't have to do like 3 or 4 cleanses. Excuse me a minute. I love having my dogs, but they like to play and they like to make a lot of noise. So this one's really easy to use. It's one pump on your hand. I always start with dry skin, and it just feels really good. One thing about Murad products is it does have a fragrance to it, but it's a non-irritating fragrance. It's more of just like a clean scent, and it's so low on the ingredients list that I don't find it irritating, and I don't think it'll irritate anyone else's skin. Get a little bit of water and just work that in. And then once that's all worked in, you can see it didn't foam up and it didn't turn milky. It's still there. I can still feel it kind of gliding around. So once that's done, I rinse off. I'm going to grab a towel. I'm just grabbing a little microfiber washcloth because it's easier that way. So in the morning, this is something I do in the shower. At night, I'll just rinse off into the sink. I won't bother with a towel. But since I'm making a video, I figured I'd try to be at least kind of professional about it. So now that that's all gone, second cleanse. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why do you have to cleanse twice if you didn't have anything on your skin? And that's an excellent question, and it's a kind of good point. Even though I didn't have any makeup or any products on my skin, technically I still had residual products from what I put on yesterday or this morning. And our skin produces oil throughout the day, even if it doesn't produce enough for us to get oily. And You know, I walk my dogs a lot, I'm outside a lot. If you are just existing in the world, something is going to stick on your skin. It's not really ever going to be noticeable unless you're in a like highly polluted area, but that first cleanse will just remove that top layer of product, dirt, oil, makeup, whatever is actually sitting on top of your skin. The second cleanse is going to help actually treat the skin itself, so it gets worked a little bit deeper into the skin than the first cleanse does. It's not a marketing gimmick to get you to buy more cleanser or use more cleansers than you really need, and you really don't need a whole lot, especially for that first cleanse. If you're using a good cleanser that has some concentration to it, you're really not going to go through it too quickly. This bottle is, I forget how many ounces, it's 5 ounces, and this is going to last me at least 2 months, if not 3 months. So if you're going through a 5-ounce bottle of cleanser every single month, using it twice a day, either you're using too much product or your product is not concentrated enough and you're just wasting your money at that point. But okay, esthetician rant over. I'm gonna go in with my second cleanse, and it's basically the same as the first cleanse. Now, I'm not pushing too hard on my skin. You don't want to be rough, and I'm keeping I'm doing all the work with the pads of my fingertips because I don't want to scratch up my face. So at this point, I like to go in with this little guy. This was a present to me for Christmas. I did find it on Juno & Co.'s website, so I know Juno & Co. carries this, and I know Ulta carries a similar one. It came with a little sponge inside that's supposed to help with the exfoliation, but I don't like to use it for that. I like it better just as this, and it's just a little silicone scrubby. So this is like a massage end, and this is, they say it's an exfoliating end, but I don't find that it actually intensely exfoliates. I use this every day, twice a day, and I don't experience any redness or irritation from it. So I just make sure that's a little bit wet. And I just finished working in my second cleanse with this guy. And again, I'm not pressing super hard, just enough to give a light buff to the skin. I do press onto my chin because that is where I get a bit of buildup. I'll go over my lips, and then on my nose, on the sides, I do tend to get blackheads and oil buildup right there. Even though I'm not oily, that is where I get buildup of oil in the follicle, so I'll just make sure I buff that in a little bit better. Just remove that. And these microfiber washcloths, I think I just, there's my hair. I got these at Ross, and it was like a set of 12 for like $6. So if you've been looking for a microfiber washcloth, I definitely recommend Ross if you have one. The reason I really bought them instead of just a traditional washcloth is because I needed washcloths, and then I was looking up those makeup remover cloths that everyone has been talking about, where you either put your makeup remover or just water in it and it just melts your makeup off, and literally all of them were just microfiber cloths. And I was like, well, I'm not going to spend $10 on one single cloth when I can just get a bunch of microfibers for $6. So if you've been looking into one of those, microfiber washcloths are the exact same thing. Unless there's something different about one of the particular brands that makes the makeup remover cloth, and you guys know how to find that information, then you can share that. Because all the research I did didn't turn up anything other than the fact that they were microfibers. now that my face is thoroughly dry, I will say if you're a little bit dry, this isn't the most nourishing as far as oil goes, like an oil-based cleanser. So now that like the water dried on my skin, it does feel just a little bit tight and dry. I supplement that with a bunch of other products, but today is also my exfoliation day, and I have one of these things. I got this through Ipsy a while back when they had like a special on it. It was like $70, I think, between 50 and 100. I think I got mine for 70. It's called Trophy Skin. It is an at-home microdermabrasion machine. Basically, like it's just a handheld instead of like the big bulky machine. So this is a diamond tip. It's very fine, so it's not a super coarse exfoliation. But if you've never had microdermabrasion before, it's really cool. It's a physical exfoliant. I do this once a month, and then a couple of times a week I'll do a really gentle either chemical or physical exfoliant as well. But it has two settings. It has low and high, I guess. And there is, I'll show you, this comes off. And that thing that just fell out is a filter that now I have to put a new one in. It just pops right in. And then the diamond tip goes right back on. So whenever I'm done, this is going to come off and I'm going to scrub it really hard with a toothbrush. And I saved that one. And antibacterial soap. If I were going to try to use this on someone else, which I wouldn't because I don't have sanitizer, I would have to scrub it with antibacterial soap, soak it in a professional grade sanitizer for 10 minutes, and then put it into a UV disinfecting machine. So this is for me and me only, just because I don't have professional grade sanitizer in my house, and I don't want to get anyone else like nasty face germs on this. So I keep it on medium just because the high setting is a bit intense, and so I'm going to go ahead and do this and show you guys how I do it, and you're going to see that I get a little bit red, but we're going to alleviate that later. Okay, and that is all done. So you can see I'm a very beautiful shade of red right now. I'm gonna take that out. And I don't know if you'll be able to see. Bring this up here. Let me see if I can get it to focus. So you can see on there, those are some baby hairs, little baby hairs that came off, and there's some dead skin cells in there too. Okay, so I realized as I went to pause the video that everything I recorded about this whole mask situation that I have going on turned out way out of focus, so that's on me. So real quick, since I'm not going to include all the blurry imaging in this video, what I did was I took the Tony Moly Therapy Pack in the Sebum Control Black Clay. I put that just in the areas that I tend to get my blackheads or have oil buildup. Even though I don't get oily skin, the oil never comes all the way to the surface. I do get those congested pores or follicles where the oil just sits in there. So I put it right here on my chin, and then my nose, and a little bit onto my cheeks. And then I put the Hello Calm Mask by Origins all over, and I kind of mix them together on the edges. This is hydrating, it's really nourishing. I really like it. It helps take down some of that redness. So that's what I put everywhere else. So it's been about 20 minutes, so I'm just going to, this is still wet, this is wet, I wet it. So I'm just going to take this off, and then I'm going to get into my second mask. I personally like to multi-mask, and sometimes depending on what I do to my skin, so like because I did my really intense exfoliation, I like to do multiple mask applications. So that's what we're doing today. Usually I will do, my usual routine is Mondays and Thursdays I will exfoliate, and then I will do one mask. So usually it'll be like Mondays I'll do like an oil mask, and then Thursdays I'll do either the Hello Calm or this one by Spracher-Moore. Okay, so that's all off. My nose is running because I just finished watching, like I completely, totally binge watched all of Adventure Time the last few weeks, and I just finished the last episode and it literally had me in tears because I'm a mess. Sorry, I'll beep that out, but I'm a mess, and that show just made me cry, so now I have to find a new show to watch, which is fine. It'll probably be another cartoon that I never watched back in high school, so we'll see. So next up is the Multi-Action Blue Rescue Clay Renewal Mask. It has blue algae, white clay, and probiotics. This is by Spracher-Moore. I've used this like 4 times and I've barely made a dent in it, so this stuff lasts a long time. I have long nails right now, so I'm going in with my knuckle, and I just go in and distribute the product, the mask, all over first. And a little bit more for luck. On freshly exfoliated skin, this definitely feels active, like you can feel it. So now, just gonna massage it in. So there's these little beads in there that turn it blue. It's white, you massage it in, those beads dissolve and turn the mask blue. So you just wanna massage it in until the whole mask turns blue, and then you leave it on until it dries. It smells so good, by the way. Like, it smells super clean and kind of luxurious. And I think that little jar is like, I'll look it up. I'll look it up on Ulta's website and put it in there. I think it's like $40 or $50 just because those probiotics get expensive, especially in a brand that really puts a lot of care and effort into their ingredients. If you're not familiar with Spracher-Moore, they as a brand put neck creams on the map. They also now, as a company, all but one product of theirs is vegan, like completely vegan. The one product that isn't has some honey in it, and even then their honey is responsibly sourced. They're based in California. All of their like stuff, the honey they source comes from California, from a responsible bee farm. So even though honey is not technically a vegan product, just do your research on it. I have my opinion on honey as a animal product. I'm gonna rinse my hands. Now, I'm not vegan. I respect veganism as a healthy lifestyle choice, as a conscientious lifestyle choice. But I also am willing to admit that, you know, not everything that is vegan is necessarily good for the environment or for our world in general. I have my opinions on honey as a vegan product or not a vegan product. It's, if you don't know how honey is made, it's technically a byproduct of a bee's typical day. So they go collect pollen, or, yeah. I'm losing the words. Anyway, as they collect the pollen and the nectar that they need, they take it back, everything gets stored into the honeycombs, their comb the grid layout. The honey comes around because of the flapping of their wings, actually. So it just, the sugars the water evaporates and the sugars solidify and turn into a syrup. That's how honey is made. It's actually just a byproduct of their day-to-day life. I definitely agree that if you're getting honey that is a mass production from farms that really aren't caring for their bees, yeah, definitely, like, that's just not good to do anyway. I live in Arizona. I happen to live near quite a few local farms, and I've been to those farms and I've seen their beekeeping habits, and they actually care for and take care of these bees, and the bees help. You know, they just kind of have a free reign over the farm. They do what they need to do. They're just seem really happy, I guess, if that makes sense. So, you know, you make your choice as to whether or not honey is a vegan friendly or non-vegan friendly item, but as a brand, Stray Becton is now almost 100% vegan, save for one product. Anyway, I'm gonna let this sit until it completely dries, since I've massaged it all and it's all blue. And this is just kind of like, yeah, it has that clay in there, but it's not really an oil control product. It's technically, I believe, if I remember correctly, an anti-aging mask, because it is more of a renewal. Let me see if it says anything. Nope, just the instructions, because I threw away the box, because that's what I do. So I'll be back in like another 20-30 minutes to wipe this off, and then we'll go through my 8 actual products that I put on my face every single day. So see you in a few. All right, I'm back. This is dry, so it's time to take it off. So I'm just gonna re-wet this and take it all off for you. It's so good. Okay, so the mask is off. Oh, my skin feels so good, and it doesn't feel dry like it did right after washing. Next up is toner. This is actually by Dermalogica, so this is a professional sized product that I was able to purchase while I was taking Dermalogica classes. Please don't mind the AC that just kicked on. So if you end up going to find this in stores or from a spa, it won't look exactly like this. It's a bit smaller of a package. This is the professional size. But this is the Redness Relief Essence. You have to shake it. And this is a toner, that has a serum-like consistency. So I take about that much, about a nickel-sized amount, and I just press it all into the skin. And this, over time, balances the hydration of the skin. It helps to plump, it helps reduce redness. It does have, let me find there it is. It has Avena sativa oat kernel, so it does have an oat kernel in there. It has aloe leaf juice. So the ingredients in order are water, aloe leaf juice, Avena sativa oat kernel flour. If you don't know, that's a very nourishing, soothing, redness reducing, anti-inflammatory ingredient. And then it has a bunch of other ingredients as well that I don't feel like reading through. But mostly those main 3 ingredients are the water, the aloe, the Avena sativa. Those are just to balance and hydrate and reduce redness and inflammation. If you're looking for like a quick one and done right away instant results kind of toner, that's not it. That one I find took at least 4 weeks of use to really notice those results. That's something I'm comfortable with. I don't mind using a product that takes a while to notice the results, because really you should use a product for 4 weeks to see the results anyway. But I mean, that's just my professional opinion. Next up is eye cream. I'm almost out of this, but this is the It's Potent by Benefit. This is supposed to be a brightening eye cream. It's supposed to reduce dark circles. I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell that I have dark circles. I've had this for almost 3 months. I'm down to my last maybe 2 weeks in it, because a little does, like, I've been using more this last week just because I'm trying to go through it because I have another eye cream that I'm ready to use. So that's not how much I'm using right now. If you have genetic dark circles, most products really aren't going to touch them. I figured I'd try this one just because I like trying a new eye cream every time I have to buy one. So that's what I did, but I go right under the eye and right over the eye. And I do a bad thing. If you ask estheticians, I do swipe under and over. You're supposed to pat. I do a mixture of both. If you have enough product on your finger and you're not pressing hard into the skin, if you're just barely touching and swiping, I don't see a problem with swiping. It's if you're pushing hard into the skin and pulling that you tend to have that problem of, over time, causing more wrinkles, causing that elasticity to wear down. So, I don't know. It's just a me thing, I guess. So I swipe it on and press it in. All done, all gone. Next up is this guy. So this is by CosRx. If you don't know what CosRx is, definitely look into it. I know it's carried at Ulta. I know they have a really strong Instagram presence, and they list how you can get a hold of their products, where you can shop for them. I love this. This is the BHA Blackhead Power Liquid. If you don't know, BHAs are beta hydroxy acids. They are an oil-based exfoliant that go in through the pore, in through the follicle, and eat away at dirt and oil. AHAs are alpha hydroxy acids. They are water-based. They work in between the cells. These are great for blackheads. I am blackhead prone, so that's why I use this. I really don't get whiteheads. This little red bump that you see over here is because I had a blackhead and I popped it out. And I know I shouldn't have, but a BHA, usually salicylic acid is a BHA. Willow bark is an alternative to that. It's a naturally occurring. So this is just a more potent serum that they offer. I use this twice a week. I use this Mondays and Thursdays. Today's Thursday. And it's a really liquidy formula. Now I put a bunch of air bubbles in there, but it doesn't matter. So I take one pump, goes onto my hand. It was, I don't know if you saw that, but it was really liquidy. I don't like using cotton rounds. Cotton rounds, I feel, absorb your product, so you're not getting as much. So I put it in the palm of my hand, rub it onto both, and press it all over the skin. Now this is my more intensive treatment, so that's why I only use it twice a week. Their instructions say start with once a week, work your way up to 2 to 3 times a week. So I have now worked my way up to 2 times a week, simply because I already exfoliate pretty often, and I already do some more intensive treatments on my skin. I have been. If you're new to treatments, or skincare treatments, or skincare in general, go ahead and try it, but once a week is like your max for at least 4 weeks. But I love that stuff. It feels great. It doesn't feel like there's anything on my skin, and it doesn't dry me out. Next up is this guy, Breakout Clearing Booster. This is also by Dermalogica. This is from their Clear Start line. This is their teen acne, young adult acne, non-adult acne line. They do have the Medebac line, which is for adult acne. If you're confused about, if you're like wondering if you have adult acne or not, adult acne is usually categorized as acne occurring in adults over the age of 30 to 35. So if you're 24 or 25 like me, and even if you're 30, you may not have adult acne. You may still have a traditional hormonal regular acne. Adult acne is just a little bit harder to treat, so it needs more intensive treatments. So this stuff, this is also a salicylic acid treatment. I take about that much, like 5 or 6 drops. And I don't know if you were able to see that because I did it pretty quickly, but there's the bottom of this has like a little push button type mechanism that lets you push the product down. So it's a little bit heavier of a serum. I use this twice a day, morning and night. Again, it doesn't break me out. I've been using this over 2 months now. I'm like 2/3 through the bottle, so I'll probably get a full 3 months out of it. And again, just pressing it into the skin. This helps clear up those blackheads and prevent them. I still get them from time to time because I wear a decent amount of makeup, but the idea also is that salicylic acid is anti-inflammatory. It's going to take down this red bump over the next couple of days. So it helps reduce that redness and inflammation. Next is this thing. It is by Peach and Lily. It's the Glass Skin Serum. Sorry about that. This is translucent. It says translucent and luminous. This is a hydrating serum. It's hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peach extract. I wonder if it says what all it is. There's peptides, wild yam. I can't pronounce that word. I'm gonna try. Madecassoside, I think is how it's pronounced. So it has a bunch of ingredients that are, niacinamide is just a really great balancing ingredient in general. Hyaluronic acid draws hydration to the skin, draws that water to the skin 1,000 times its weight. Peptides help plump and nourish. So this serum is supposed to brighten, hydrate, and balance. The idea is that Peach and Lily is a Korean skincare inspired brand, if not a Korean skincare brand. And if you may be familiar with the newer Too Faced Hangover RX serum that they came out with. Really similar, but this has the peach extract and niacinamide that I really liked, and they're the same price, so I like this one. That one's nice, but I like this one. And the idea of Korean skincare is that you balance and hydrate and plump the skin. So again, 1 pump into my hand and pressing it all over the face. Now, if you have dry skin, you do need an oil base somewhere in your skincare. So this is great for all skin types. It's not the only thing in my skincare though, because if I only use this, my skin will feel dry all day. Next up, this one's kind of new. I got this recently. I really can't say I'm proud of it either, but since using it, I really like it. But it's kind of a weird one, and if you're gonna consider using this, you have to allergen test yourself first. So this is also by CosRx. My skin really likes their products, so I like to use them. This is the Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. So maybe you've heard about snail mucus as a product that a lot of people like to use for anti-aging and skin balancing. That's what this does. It has that snail mucus in there. I use this as my last serum. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but that makes 4 today. The BHA is twice a week. So every day, twice a day, I use 3 serums, technically. And 1 pump, you're gonna see how thick this is. That's thick. That's why I'm doing it last too. So if you're using multiple serums, you should go less thick, the least thick to the most thick. So again, in the palm of my hand, get it all over and press it in. And it just adds a little bit of extra oomph, and it could just be because it's so thick, it locks in everything I put under it, but it just makes my skin feel super good. but it doesn't make me feel heavy or greasy. Like, it doesn't feel like there's anything on top of my skin. It soaks right in. I had one of those blue beads from the mask somewhere, so I feel like I had that on my hand. Okay, next up is my moisturizer. This one's also Dermalogica. My skin really likes a lot of Dermalogica products, so that's why I use them. This is their new formulation to the Intensive Moisture Balance. They just reformulated this last year, back in February of 2019. The new formulation came out. Now, I can't say I'm proud of this moisturizer because this size, 3.4 ounces, is $80. But this is like a 6-month supply of moisturizer. So that's how I justify it. I justify it as I only have to buy this like twice a year, which is about how much I would spend it's about how much I would spend if I were buying a drugstore moisturizer that I have to use 3 times a day. This lasts me long enough, and it actually balances my skin the way it needs to. It's got a tri-oil complex in it that mimics the oils that the human skin naturally produces, so it soaks in without an oily, greasy residue. So if you're dry and you need a moisturizer that isn't going to clog up your pores, give you blackheads, make you break out, no added fragrance, and actually works, this is the best one I've found so far, and I've tried quite a few. So I take about that much because I bring it down onto my neck as well. Dispense it onto my hands and then onto my face and neck. Now I bring it onto my neck because our neck needs love too. It's also skin, and I like to put it over top of my eyes. Even though I have an eye cream, it's gentle and non-irritating, so it doesn't irritate my eyes, and I like that extra hydration. And I even go right behind the ears. I don't know, that's just how I do it. And it gets me in the habit of putting my SPF behind the ears in the morning. I'll apply my SPF the same way and go behind the ears and go on the ears like that. And then I have my SPF on. Bring it all the way down. We want to keep everything completely balanced and the same. And then I just kind of press in the excess, if there is any. I'll do that little pressing motion just to keep everything pressed in. So that's pretty much it. I do have one last step to my PM routine, and that is one more COSRX product. It's the Ultimate Nourishing Rice Overnight Mask. I love this. I bought this on a whim because I really like masks, if you couldn't tell. But this, it was either $18 or $22. And, oh gosh, rice is a brightening ingredient. It brightens and refines the skin. This is made with this whole, the whole formulation is 68.9% rice extract. It also moisturizes as well. So I like this if you are someone who kind of wants a little bit of resurfacing overnight without being intense, like an Origin's high potency niacinamide or the Estee Lauder overnight. They have an overnight resurfacing, refining moisturizer, and then Kiehl's also has the midnight repair serum. If you want something that kind of does that, or you're kind of interested or curious about a retinol, something that's gonna resurface your skin and refine it overnight, but you don't want to go so intense so quickly, and you also want a little bit of brightening, like I get dark spots after I have a breakout, this is what I recommend. I would try this first. Go through the entire bottle. It's gentle enough you can use it every night. I get red really quickly, as you saw, so if I can use it every night and not experience irritation after a certain number of nights, most of you will probably be able to. So I take about that much. I'd say that's a little, 2 pea-sized amounts. Again, dispense it between both hands and dispense it onto the skin. And this one also is gentle enough. I take it under and over the eyes because I'm praying, hoping someday that some combination of what I do will get rid of my dark circles. Unfortunately, my love of caffeine and my genetics are probably going to keep that from happening. But this in the morning, it just leaves me feeling just so much better. Everything's a little bit more refined and tightened. The pores are a little bit more tightened. I could probably use this twice a day, but I stick to once a day just because I do so much to my skin anyway. It feels nice. It's not heavy. It's not greasy. And I just love it. I love it. I've talked to so many people about it, and my store's been out of it for a while. So I'm going to do my best to link everything that I used in the description bar so that you guys can see them and maybe read some reviews on them and see if maybe that's something that would apply to your skin type. Again, if you don't know, I'm a licensed esthetician, so if you have skincare questions or routine questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments for me. If you like videos like this, I would like to do more of them. I just don't know if people like them, so let me know. Maybe either in a comment or leave a thumbs up. I feel really weird saying that, but I'm going to say it, and I'm going to leave it in there, and I want to touch my face because it feels so good. But thanks so much for hanging out with me today on my little spa day. And I'll see you guys next week for another bullet journal / budgeting video, since I think that's what most of you are here for. So thanks for letting me indulge in my little spa day and hanging out with me, even though I messed up some of the footage. Anyway, okay, bye guys. Thanks so much. Mwah.